Welcome to the Actor's Choice, where the actors and actresses have a chance to talk about themselves and their careers. Join us now for the next hour as we explore the marvelous industry of acting by actors and actresses from today's exciting show business world. And now, direct from Hollywood, here's your host, Ron Brewington.
Everybody, I'm Ron Brewington, and welcome to the Actor's Choice. Roll it, Tony.
No, 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 no. No, 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 no. I hope I don't let it go. No, 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 no. I've been holding on for so long.
Ladies and gentlemen, my first guest today is a well-known, award-winning singer and songwriter. He's also an actor. During his marvelous career, this very talented gentleman has produced over 20 albums, countless collaborations, and over 15 million records sold throughout the world. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome a man who I admire and have always done for years. Please welcome Howard Hewett. Howard, thank you so much for being here, sir, and welcome to the Actor's Choice.
Thank you, man. It's great being here. I'm glad we finally made it.
Amen, brother. Amen.
Yeah.
Amen. And by the way, before we get started, Howard, could you please tell our audience where you from?
Originally from Ohio, born and raised in Ohio, Akron, Ohio. You know, they call it now LeBron territory. You know, but it was back in. I was born and raised there, and you know, along with a whole bunch of different musicians.
Okay.
And stuff. Yeah.
Tell us what it was like growing up in Akron.
Akron was a great place to grow up. I mean, it was, you know, back in the day, you know, it was the rubber capital of the world, you know, because Goodrich, Goodyear, Mohawk, Cyberling, Firestone, everybody had their factories there. So, you know, the middle class was thriving. And so like it really provided a safe place for me to explore my early musical, you know, explorations, because I mean, we weren't concerned about people, you know, shooting you and all that kind of stuff and all that, and you know, the craziness that goes on today in Akron, as well as a whole lot of different places. So it was a place at you know, like at 15, I started singing when I was 10, but I started in the church. But when I went into, you know, the R&B situation at 15, you know, my band and I, which was a band called Life, we spelled L-Y-F-E. My band and I we played places where, you know, I mean, grown-ups were there, but we were so, you know, our band was very popular at the time. And so it was a safe place to really explore my early endeavors as far as music is concerned.
Okay. Now, you were a member of a siblings group called the Hewett Singers, under the guidance of your mother, Carlina Hewett Brown.
Charlena, yeah. Yeah, my mom was she was a major gospel promoter in the Akron, Canton, Cleveland area, and also had she was later on inducted into the Ohio Radio Hall of Fame for a radio broadcast that she had every Sunday morning called the Reverend Elvin H. Brown Spiritual Hour, right? And so she was number one. They were number one in their slot for like 30, almost 40 years or so. And you know, and she would bring everybody in from on her gospel programs, everybody from James Cleveland to Albertina Walker and the Caravans when Shirley Caesar was still singing with them, and Volunteers, Pilgrim Jubilees, Soul Stirrers, Five Blind Boys, Alabama, everybody, you know. So once she put the Hewett Singers together, nepotism was alive and well in our family, as it should be. And every show that she brought in, of course, we would open the show for her.
There's a picture.
Yeah.
Thank you, Tony.
Yeah, that's my mom. Yeah, my mom.
This is my mom.
Yeah.
Now let's fast forward a little bit. In high school, they referred to you as Sing Howard. Remember that?
Singing Howard. You know, We used to it used to be a saying like with my band Life, you know, when we were starting to we would do songs like we would do songs like, you know, Sarah Smiles and all that kind of stuff with Hall and Oates. And when I start into the song and I see a young lady out in the audience and I start, you know, going singing to her and the whole thing, my band would say, "Oh yeah, Howard's singing for it tonight. He's singing for." So I mean, we had a great time, you know, my band and I back then. You know, and we were proteges of like this other band that was in Akron called Revelation Funk, and Revelation Funk had a keyboard player that only sang background and played keyboards because he didn't consider himself a lead singer, and that was James Ingram, right? So, yeah. So I met James when I was 15 years old, and we remained friends all the way up to, you know, the time he passed. He was like one of my big brothers because I have four sisters, you know, and all four of them are older than I am. So I always had my younger brother is like my young brother up under me he's like 3 years younger than me. So I never had an older brother, right? So everybody, you know, yeah, coming out here, even all through my life, I always had these cats that were like, you know, older than me, and like because I always had that older brother type of syndrome that I guess I was trying to achieve, you know. So.
Okay. All right. Now, given what you just said, who are some of the musical influences that you had to create the Howard Hewett, that signature sound?
Well, I mean, I guess I went through my back young when I was very young. I went through my Stevie Wonder uh, s- time of life where I wanted to sound like Stevie. Went through my Donny Hathaway stage. You know,
Mm-hmm.
I love this thing, and of course Marvin.
Oh
You know,
yeah, oh yeah.
yeah, of course Marvin back. But when I was about 16 years old, I started thinking about the fact that you know, the thing that made those people unique to me was the fact that they were unique. You know, when you heard Stevie, you knew it was Stevie. When you heard Marvin, you knew it was Marvin. Donnie, you knew it was Donnie. And so at that time, I started saying, man, you know, I want to, you know, create my own sound that, you know, at some point, you know, in the future, somebody's going to say, oh, I want to sound like Howard Hewitt. So, so I started really taking all those influences and kind of rolling them up, and then, you know, adding my own flavor. I get into the bathroom of the house that I grew up in, my mom's house, my mom and dad's house, and, you know, all the tile and everything created a natural reverb and stuff. So, you know, I started developing the, you know, natural into the false type of situation without too much of a break, you know, and you know, so the early age, those were the influences. But then I started kind of, you know, trying to explore that whole situation as far
Gotcha.
as, you know, creating my own thing.
Gotcha. Now, in the late 70s, you came out here to LA.
Mhm.
You, at one time, let's see, you did a job, you had your actor credit, your first actor credit, 1975, Dolomite. You had a role in Dolomite.
That
Oh,
was
oh,
like,
oh yes.
wow.
Yeah, oh, we do our research.
You know what? It was like it was. I wouldn't even call it a role, Ron. It's like I just was.
We
I
call
can't.
experience.
I can't even remember exactly what it
Yeah.
was that I did exactly. But you know, I always kid around and I say, man, I'm an actor. I act. I be acting. You know what I'm saying? So.
Yeah, go ahead. So around 1977, as your time was moving on, you had a little group started called Beverly Hills.
Mhm.
You were doing some good things. And a gentleman by the name of Dick Griffey, he put together Solar Records in 1977. And then you and him got together,
Well, you know,
1979.
the way that process happened. I mean, I started working with this cat when I first got out. I got out here in '76,
Mhm.
and I mean, I touched down literally, man, with like after I paid for my one way ticket, I touched down to LAX. I had about $34 in my pocket, right? So my cousin picked me up at the airport, you know, and for about 8 months it was me and my cousin, right? So about a month after I got out here, I connected with this cat, John Daniels, and his brother, Alonzo Daniels. And they own this club down in the Crenshaw district called Mavericks Flat.
Right.
And so Mavericks, Mavericks on the weekend was the club, but during the weekdays, they upstairs were these rehearsal rooms and offices and everything, and so their thing was putting together show groups, doing top 40 stuff, and they would tour them. They had a booking agency called Maverick International,
That's
and
it.
they would tour them over in throughout Europe, Scandinavia, Asia, and all that, a lot of different places. So we put together a group. I met John, like I said, about a month or so after I got out here. And then we started putting together, myself, and my cousin, we started putting together this group called Beverly Hills. And it was myself, my cousin at first, and three ladies that sang with us. And we had a band, a 7-piece band. And we started putting together shows and actually. And once we put the group together, and it was together enough to tour, we actually toured overseas. The only place here in the States that we played was Mavericks Flat.
Right.
On the weekend, if we had a show that we wanted to try out, we would play Mavericks Flat on Friday or Saturday, Friday and Saturday. But that's where I first met Jeffrey and Jody in Shalimar, because all the Soul Train people used to go down to Mavericks on the weekend, because Mavericks was like a real homey type of place, and you look out in the audience as far as when you were on the weekend on Mavericks, you could see Richard Pryor sitting out there, you see maybe Lionel Richie, and
yes.
I met members of Earth, Wind and Fire, Ralph Johnson, and everybody down there. So like it was a great place to hang out, a great place to get a good foundation.
Yes, indeed. So you stayed with Dick Griffey. You guys did well. Did a lot of songs. You did a lot of good stuff. 1986, you left and you launched your own solo career. Big hit you had was "I'm For Real."
That was 85. That was in 85 actually.
Yeah.
When I left, when I first left Shalimar. Shalimar was once we put everything together, we had a whole lot of hits with Shalimar and stuff.
Yes.
And then in 85, Jeffrey and Jody split. They split in 83. They left the group in 83, and then 80. And I rolled my contract out with them, and then in 85, I launched my solo career. And with "I'm For Real," "I'm For Real" was a tune that Stanley Clarke and I wrote together, and man, it was it did real well, very well.
Very well. Excellent. Now, quick question: how do you define Howard Hewett?
How would I define Howard Hewett?
Yes, sir.
Professionally, personally.
Yes. Anything you want to throw in.
Everything.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Well, even one thing I think that covers a lot of stuff as far as my personality anyway is concerned, professionally as well as personally, is one word that comes to mind, and something that I've tried to initiate throughout my whole life.
Yes.
Is integrity. Integrity in what you do, integrity in the music that I do, integrity in the personal relationships I have, and you try to achieve that as much as possible, be consistent with people. One of the things that really kind of, detours me from hanging out with a lot of my peers is the fact that a lot of times you don't know who's going to show up, what I mean, what person is going to show up. I like consistency. I like if you know me, I'm the same person all the time. It's like we've known each other for, I mean, how many years?
Many years.
30, 40 years or so. And I know you're the same cat, that I see. You're the same cat I see all the time, So, not saying that people don't go through stuff, what I'm saying? We all go through our stuff, and it might not be as vibrant or whatever. But as far as my personality is going to be consistent. You know what I'm saying? And I love consistency. So, you know, it's I think integrity, consistency. You know, looking at, you know, making sure that everything, and that's reflected as far as my music is concerned as well.
We got just a few more minutes left, but before we leave, there's two things we got to say before we get you out of here. You released an album that had the biggest song of your career. It was and is an inspirational song. Every time we hear it, I'm speaking not only for myself, I'm talking about a whole bunch of Howard Hewett fans. There's this song you came out with called Say Amen. Roll it, Tony.
It's time to say goodbye for now. We'll have our second time around. But before you go, there's something I'd like to say. Everything's not what it seems. There's a stronger force behind the scenes. He's in our lives every day. He's right there when we call.
Wow. I had to go get me a Kleenex real quick. That is thank you, Tony. That is some kind of song, man.
Oh, thank you. Man.
That gospel background that you had, you put it to the max, and look at what we got. We got 1 minute to go, and that is on October the 2nd, 2021. You were honored by the city of Akron, Ohio. They named a road after you. A road. There you go.
Yep. It was, man, I'm gonna tell you, that was so amazing. We had started talking about it about a year before COVID hit, you know, but then of course COVID hit and shut everything down. But
yes,
so that, you know, when we're talking about it, I said, yeah, I want to, you know, I'm definitely honored as far as that's concerned. I said, but I'm honored about the fact that we're doing it now, so that I can get in a car and ride down Howard Hewett Jr. Way, you know, not in a hearse. You know what I'm saying? So, but it was such an honor because, you know, it's the way the street sign is. It's like how Cadillac Boulevard, and that's the street that I grew up on, but then up underneath is the Howard Hewett Jr. Way, and I wanted it that way because I didn't want them to take Cadillac Boulevard down, because I always thought it was so cool, even as I was growing up, that to grow up on a street called Cadillac Boulevard. So that was such an honor, man. My hometown has always been, you know, real supportive through the years, man. They've every time I go there, they turn up and they show up, show out, you know, the whole thing. So I have no qualms about, you know, my hometown. I love Akron, will always be my hometown. I mean, this is my hometown as well, LA, but that's only because, you know, that's in my adult life. My growing up, my foundation has always and will always be recognized as being in Akron, Ohio.
I would want to thank you so much for being here with us today. Wish you the best. I wish we had more time, really. Come on back.
We really just kind of hit scan the surface of stuff, man. There's a lot of stuff that, you know, that we could talk about. And I'm waiting on my silver dollar, man.
All right, brother, you're gonna get it.
I have all the silver dollars that
you'll get more when I see you. I'm gonna say one word. Amen, brother. Amen.
Amen. God bless you, man. God bless you, brother.
Ladies and gentlemen, Howard Hewett. This is the Actor's Choice. I'm your host, Ron Brewington. Ladies and gentlemen, the time has come once again for the Actor's Choice Easter giveaway. Now, here's your chance to receive a $100 gift card as the first place winner and a $50 gift card as the second place winner. Now, to enter, you got to go to our website once a day, starting today through April the 10th. Our website address is www.theactorschoicela.org/Easter giveaway 2022. Let me repeat that again. I like to say them W's. I love them words. I see Kim is over there looking at me. She just laughing. She said, that guy is saying W's. www.theactorschoicela.org/Easter giveaway 2022. Now, 2 random winners will be chosen, and they will be notified ASAP by email or text. So the winner's name will be announced on our website, web series, and our social media sites on Monday, April the 11th. So good luck to everybody and be the winners of the Actors Choice Easter giveaway. Roll it, Tony.
No, I don't wait for tomorrow. No, I won't give it a break. Don't need to beg, steal, or borrow. Watch me as I walk this way. I'm busy building an empire. Don't really care what they say. I'm only here for a good time. Drown them out like now, namaste.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are very proud and honored to have our next guest here today. Now, this lady is an actor and a singer, known for her splash on season 2 by The Voice on NBC. Now, she's classically trained. When she takes that stage, ladies and gentlemen, as we used to say when I was in the Navy, stand by to stand by. Great performances. So without further ado, please welcome renowned artisan, Kim Yarbrough.
Hello.
Kim, welcome to the Actors Choice.
Thank you, Ron. Good to see you.
Good to be seen, but I see you dressed for the occasion. That yellow, it looks good on you, lady. As they say, looking G-double-O-D. I did my homework to find out where you were born, and it told me that you were born. Where was that, man? Would you say that again?
Memphis, Tennessee.
I'm sorry, I didn't hear you. Can you say that one more time?
Memphis, Tennessee.
Oh, you mean Memphis, Tennessee? Okay, got you. Okay,
Memphis, yeah.
Memphis. My God, that when I saw where you were born, and I said, let me take a moment. I was in the Navy at that time, in a little place called Millington up the road.
Millington,
right?
Yes,
indeed, and we had a lot of fun. We really, really did. I remember Harlem House. Is it still there?
You know, I don't think so.
That was the food place. That was the food.
I know, but there've been so many places that have come and gone since I left. Gotcha. So many places. I mean, I drive up and down La Brea right now after the pandemic and go, where did that come from? So, things are constantly changing.
And there was Beale Street.
Yes. Cut my teeth on Beale Street.
Food was off the hook. The people would, you were around all the big people, Al Green, all these people, you were around them.
Yeah. It was like a mini, Beale Street was like a mini Bourbon Street, but with Memphis music. It was just incredible. I did not really appreciate where I came from until I moved away.
Okay.
And realized, oh my God, this Memphis legacy that people talk about, it's real. Wow. Yeah.
So you started at the age of 8, I'm told. Tell us what, who, where, when, and why you jumped into the business at 8 years of age.
I couldn't help it. I was when my mom and dad brought me home from the hospital. I don't know if you've heard of jazz pianist Phineas Newburn Jr.
Yes, I've heard that name.
Yeah, he was friends with my dad, and my cousins toured and played with B.B. King. So one of my cousins was his road manager for a time. So when my mom brought me home from the hospital, Phineas decides he's going to drop by and jam with my dad because my dad was a jazz pianist. And, no training, just played by ear. And his buddies dropped by the house all the time to, just jam on the piano or whatever. And so it was no different that they were bringing home a new baby from the hospital. So that set the tone for my life. They jammed until 4:00 in the morning. My mom wasn't too happy, but that's where it all started with me.
Indeed, that is the who, what, where, when, and why. Thank you very, very much. Now, you started as an actress in 2009. I found out that since that year, you have had at least one role per year since that time. That is beautiful.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Oh, goodness. That tells me somebody is working. That's what that tells me.
Actually, 2009 was my first TV gig. I've been acting since I was a young kid, but yeah, it's actually at least one role a year, sometimes 5 or 6 or 7. Even during the pandemic, I got a couple in there.
People they can say, Kim Yarbrough, get that lady up on the stage, get her out there. The movie you talked about, if I'm not mistaken, 2081 was the name of that movie.
That was my very first film. Yeah.
Yes, ma'am. James Cosmo was the star. Chandler Tuttle was the director and the writer. And there you were.
I played a violinist.
Woo! Got that IMDb credit, didn't you?
Yes, I did. That was the reason I did it. I was like, you know what? This is a short independent film, but I'm going to do it because the concept sounds interesting and I'll get my first IMDb credit.
You got it, lady. Almost 60 of them now. You're doing good. Doing real good. Now, seeing you perform and knowing your bio, I can see that it was a natural thing for you to go and be an actress. You have that personality, you have that way about you. Right or wrong?
I think so. I've always been a ham like my mother.
Ham. Oh, being a ham. Now, I see you have an extensive background in theater and dance. Now, you and I have never met each other before. I'm going to just take a minute of your time. I have a bone that I pick with actors and actresses. Here they come here to Hollywood. They want to be a star. Nothing wrong with that. That's cool. But they want to do film. They want to do television. Oh, get out the way. I'm going on TV. But they ain't stepping up on that stage. What's wrong with them people?
Why not?
You don't want. They don't want to go up on the stage. They're afraid. They're afraid they won't do it.
I find that kind of sad because that's where to use this term again, that's where you cut the teeth of your craft on the stage. And it's my first love. It's my first love, getting an audience. If you have no lights, no sound, no theater, you can still have two talented actors get out on the sidewalk and put on a show. That's the gift we have.
Just thought I'd throw that passion, see what you thought. Now, you are quadruple threat: singer, actor, dancer, and industrialism. All I can say is, instrumentalist, excuse me. All I can say is, help, Cecil, help. Remember that old cartoon, Beanie and Cecil? I'm coming, Beanie Boy.
I don't know if I remember that one, but I can identify.
See, Beanie and Cecil was the name of the cartoon. Yeah, back in the 60s or so. Do you want to be a director, my dear?
No.
Why not?
I have done, in the years that I've studied acting, and my coaches have been, Richard Lawson is one of my acting coaches. And I have had the opportunity, because my acting coaches encouraged us as actors to be on both sides of the camera. You've got to experience it all. You got to experience being on the camera.
Yes.
You got to experience doing hair and makeup. You got to experience being on the crew. And I've tried both, and I like this side of the camera.
Okay.
So I can at least say I've tried it,
Yes. A lot of folks have tried it, and some liked it and some didn't like it. It's a lot of pressure.
I did not like it.
Wow. I was watching the Critics Award last night, and they were talking about, by the way, what's his name from, he did a Serena Williams story. What's his name? Smith?
Will Smith?
Oh, that's Smith. Yeah, he won.
He did?
Yes, he did.
I am so happy for him. I must have been in a bubble the other night.
His girls were right there with him at the same table with him. It was an honor for him. Yes, indeed.
Oh, that's so beautiful.
Right. We got a few moments. By the way, I like your official website, man. I'd like to know there's a lot of information on it. Easy to read, easy to know what you're doing. Outstanding website that you got. Outstanding.
Thank you.
What's a typical day like for Kim Yarbrough?
Oh, wow. It's my dream day that I've always wanted, and I absolutely manifested. Well, first I wake up and I pray.
Okay.
I give thanks to the Creator, and I bless my day. I do my stretching or whatever exercise I'm going to do for the day, and then I start auditioning. I have my breakfast and I start auditioning. I have several auditions per week. I'm a voiceover artist as well. So I'll have between, 5 and 8 auditions for voiceover, and maybe 1 or 2 in film and TV for that week.
Yes.
So I've got 2 different agents, so they keep me busy. So I start auditioning and I finish auditioning maybe around 3 o'clock, depending on how many I have. I'll have my lunch, and then I start teaching young kids music in the evening. And on weekends, I teach virtual private lessons. I teach piano, I teach voice, and I also teach acting, and I teach violin.
You hear that, ladies and gentlemen? For those of you that never tried it, listen to what this lady's talking about. She is working. She's finding a way to get a job.
I'm working.
Go for it. Go for it. Go for it. Now, according to IMDb, from 2014 through 2017, you had a couple of roles in the comedy film Jane the Virgin. We just happen to have a short clip. Roll it, Tony.
Actually, no, I'm here. Hi. I am so sorry that I'm late.
Dr. Alver, I presume?
But, Your Honor, I stand before you here today, ready to accept any punishment that you deem necessary.
This isn't a sentencing. You just have to answer the petition.
Oh, well then I answer it. I'm here.
Here come the judge. Here come the judge.
That was fun.
Yes, looked like it was. Looked like you had a good time. Now, I see, beside being busy, because that's an understatement, you, Ernest Thomas, Jasmine Lewis, with director Larry Flash Jenkins, you guys have a musical film called The Gospel Truth in pre-production. Can you please tell us about
Actually, that is kind of a sad story because it was in pre-production. And Larry Flash Jenkins, as many people know from The White Shadow, years ago, had a massive heart attack and passed away.
Yeah.
Right in the middle of pre-production. So nothing has really been done on the film since. I don't know if his wife is going to try and resurrect any of his work.
Yes.
But yeah, Cece Peniston was also starring in that film. And we were just all devastated because, Larry was vibrant, busy kind of guy, active, and he had a massive heart attack, and then we all felt a great loss with that.
Sure.
Yeah.
Wish him his best as we can. That's all we can say.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Tell us, madam, how never a dull moment, is it?
I like to call my life a circus sometimes. No, never.
There you go.
Never a dull moment. Sometimes I go to bed thinking, oh my God, what just happened today?
Wow. And that story for more.
Yeah.
Details at 11. Indeed.
It definitely keeps things interesting.
Yes, it does. And that's good, living a good life. Living a good life. God put us here for a reason. You're doing it. You're enjoying it, having a good time. I got time for one more question, madam. Okay. What advice would you give to a person who wants to be an actor?
Study. Because you will find out through your study if you are in this business for the right or for the wrong reasons.
Right.
If you're just in it to get your 15 minutes and get famous and make a quick buck, or, get rich quick, whatever you think this business is about.
Right.
Consistent study will tell you whether or not you love it enough to stick with it.
Good grief.
That's the first thing you need to do. Get in an acting class, get in some singing lessons, get in a voiceover class, whatever you feel like you want to steer your career direction in. Study that.
Yeah.
And study it well. And opportunities will come from that. The better you get, the more you get paid.
You just heard it. Thank you for that advice. Thank you for that advice. Thank you for being our guest today. We've enjoyed having you as a guest. Got to get you back again. Love that. We give 17 minutes, but we want to give some more time to you. Ladies and gentlemen, Kim Yarbrough. Please.
Thank you, Ron.
Thank you now. This is the Actor's Choice. I'm your host, Ron Brewington. Roll it, Tony. My next guest today is a man full of talent. He's a producer, a composer between musical worlds. He's also been working as a piano instructor, a video game composer, and if that's not enough, he manages his own YouTube channel. Not bad, not bad. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Michael Kim-Sheng. Greetings, Michael, and welcome to the Actor's Choice.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me. How are you?
Yes, I'm doing great, doing great. Now, before we begin, please tell us where were you born at?
Where was I born?
Yep.
I was born in Los Angeles.
Los Angeles.
I think Montebello.
Yeah.
Specifically, I just learned that.
You noticed why that picture was nice. You saw the Hollywood sign there, and you saw the palm trees. That's LA. That's the way we do it.
That's my first sight.
Yes, indeed. That is beautiful. Now, for those who missed our January 24th episode, we had a marvelous, talented lady dance performing. She's also a renowned choreographer. Her name is Julie Kim, and our guest today is her son. There's Julie. Wow. Wow. So you were born into a musical family. In fact, you started piano lessons at the age of 4. Please tell us what it was like in your home at that time.
Well, I'd wake up to, people playing scales on the piano. Wake up to my mom teaching piano. And I mean, I did that. That was my life, up until college, just hearing piano all the time. And my mom would teach me pieces of music, and she would put the score on the piano. But I heard those pieces so many times, I would actually play it by ear. And that actually kind of hurt me throughout the years because I never really learned how to read music.
Yes.
Because of that. And,
yes.
So I relied a lot on my ear, and, I continued to rely on my ear throughout school, which actually isn't the best, but that's just how I worked through things. And so, yeah, lots of music, music in your head, music just all the time. And so that hasn't really changed.
Wow. Chopin and Debussy graced the background in your house, huh?
Yeah, a lot of that. My mom, sometimes she pulls up old Debussy scores, and I'll have drawings or like little notes, doodles of how treacherous the learning curve was, and just how much I did dislike the process. It's kind of funny, but being a kid forced to play piano at sometimes it was just it is what it is. It's not easy learning that instrument, and it's not easy learning anything really.
But as I agree, I listen to you, I say to myself, he's talking about a discipline. One can have to, if you want to be successful, you got to stay with it as long as you can. You had a great family. You have a great family. They've been around you. They directed you. They've done a lot of things with it for you. I bless you. You're a lucky man, Michael. God bless you.
Yeah. So it's very fulfilling now. And it's something that I see myself doing for the rest of my life. So.
Got you. Yeah. Speaking of your mother, we just happen to have a short clip of her dancing to the music that you created in a piece called New Leaf. Roll it, Tony. Wow. Your mother did the dancing, and you did the music on this.
Yeah, and my sister and my brother-in-law played the parts, the piano and the cello.
See, we talk about the family.
The family.
The family. Excuse me.
Exactly.
No, I'm sorry.
Oh no, I was just agreeing with you. Yes, it's quite the family project. Yeah.
Okay. As a teenager, your friends introduced you to new genres of music, right?
Yeah.
How did you deal with that?
Oh, I fell deep into that. That's all I listened to. I mean, it was like Pink Floyd, Led Zeppelin, Incubus, Radiohead, Aphex Twin, just those. I just, I went really deep, and I that's how I became a producer, because I started to make my own beats. And so it's interesting. I went into that new genre of music. I kind of avoided classical. And I almost did that intentionally, but I went back into classical after a few years of dabbling in production, and decided that that was my world, or at least what I would get my education in. And now it's my world. I spend most of my time composing. If you look here, I have my work, which is written. It's written in the traditional notation. So I write notes, and then I send it out to musicians to play. So yeah, I was playing a lot of like electric guitar when my friends were showing me stuff, and I had a band, and was making beats and stuff like that. So
Gotcha. Classical music is nice. I thoroughly enjoy classical music. I teach a class in broadcasting at a local college, and one of the things we always tell them, the roughest DJ type that you can get is a person in the classical business. You have to know a lot of names. You have to know where they came from. You have to know a lot of things as a DJ on a radio station.
Oh wow, that you must be on top of stuff then.
Yes.
Wow.
Yes.
That's impressive.
Yes. How do you define musical work?
Like musical work, like what a musical work is?
Yep.
How do I define that?
Yep.
I'm not sure. That's what is a musical work versus what is just sound.
Okay.
Maybe some element of control. I mean,
now you're talking. Now you're talking.
Like an artist manipulating something. I mean, some people even relinquish that control and say this is a musical work.
Yes.
So for me personally, which I'm not speaking for everyone,
right?
For me, it's this element of control, of creating gestures and putting drama into them, and a narrative into that via sound as a medium. So for me, it's just, that's what it means. But I think other people would say other things, and I don't say I'm more right than anyone else. So
fast forward, you got a chance to pursue formal music studies, and that was you did at the Jacobs School of Music at Indiana University and at the McGill University.
Yeah, I did. I did those studies in music composition. So I'd say the biggest takeaway is that I learned how to prepare music, how to write for certain instruments, and just how to get a concert going. And that's been very valuable for me. And style and technique kind of followed as I continued to compose. And because you can't really teach someone how to compose, right? If you teach someone how to compose, you're not really teaching them to be original. You're teaching them how to compose in a way, or you're giving them a set of techniques. And it's kind of like, okay, this is how you do it. Now go off on your own with it. So, I just continue to write, but my university gave me all that technical knowledge, how to get things started, just how to,
Gotcha. Yeah. How many instruments do you use?
So my main one is piano. Okay. I'd say piano. I'm on the keyboard most of my time. I also do some work for a video game here and there. It's kind of a side project that I do for fun, because I love the game and I love making ambient sounds for it. And I sometimes use my guitar and bass for that. And I also have a microphone here.
Okay.
I use that for recording sounds that I can't create otherwise. So, yeah.
Your opinion about the way that the technology is evolving?
That's an interesting question. I feel like my response to how things are changing is to stay close to my heart, I guess, for lack of better words, just to stay really close to moves me and what touches me. And of course, my music is traditional in its way it's prepared. So it's kind of like I'm using a tradition, a method that's been, used for the past, several hundred years. So for me, I see technology as, I hope this sort of separation between what's in your mind, what you can conceive versus what you realize. I hope that barrier breaks down through technology so that I could think up a sound and then it's already written in a if you know what I mean. That's how I would like to see technology move forward. For music, what I am a little bit afraid of is AI taking over the composer. It's like, oh, write in a style of this person, and then boom, it's done. Through some sort of process. That worries me a little bit, but that's still fascinating too in its own way. So we'll see.
Around 2015, you got your first IMDb composer credit for a short film documentary called, I'll give this a whirl, Anatomia, the Zach Wiku.
Oh, wow. That's funny. That was that's a Polish film, right?
Uh-huh.
So it was about a composer who lost his hearing, and so he had to make music using his body.
Yes.
And I used this microphone for that.
Oh, okay.
And all I did was just layered stuff with me clapping, making, vocalizing and using my body as a resonant chamber and just, clicking and stuff. That's all I did. I did that for a couple hours and then sent it off. And it was used as the ending credits. So that was fun. Very, very fun work.
Wow. Yeah. Tell us about that YouTube event that you do. You have a channel?
Oh, my YouTube channel.
Yes.
So YouTube, I put a lot of lo-fi samples. Lo-fi is kind of it's a movement. I don't know how I define lo-fi actually. It's people taking, a group of people producing in their bedrooms, and they take existing music and then they sample it with a drum beat that they design to go under the music. And it's a lot of people do that. So what I do is I play little piano chords, kind of like a jazz inspired lick, and people take that recording, they cut it up and they put it in their software, and then they put a beat under it, and then they release it on their own and say, this is my work. And so I got some traction doing that. And so I released about 50, 60 samples on and off. I've never been consistent on my YouTube, but on and off, I've been releasing samples whenever I have a chance to just say, hey, I'm ready to make some samples.
Gotcha. I had a chance to go up on YouTube and look at all the music, some of the music that you did. I counted over 100, well over 100. I said, wow.
That's a lot. Keep producing, never stop.
Yep. Yeah. You've got a new album out called Heavy Moon. I understand that it was seen, we saw it at the opening of this interview. Anything different when you did this one?
Anything different about
and the style, the way you did it?
Oh yeah, this one was really an incredible experience. It took me a long time to write the work for one. I started it in, I think, 2018. So, but I had, I didn't spend 2 years writing it, but it took 2 years from the beginning of the writing process to the release of the album. And so I wrote music for 10 musicians, 5 string players, 1 piano, and 4 voices. And for me, that it's 45 minutes of music. So that was the biggest project I've ever had to realize. And it was just, that experience when you're walking around, you're like, what is happening? This is crazy. This is like, I was just, so many things were happening in my head. Everything came together in over the course of 3 days. The rehearsal and 2 recording sessions were over 3 days, and I'd invested so much time up until that point. So it was just, I mean, I'm doing it again. I'm writing my second album right now. So, you know, of course.
Like we said, a very talented man. Please give my best to your mother. Please give her my best.
Of course. Yes.
And congratulations on what you're doing. Hope you have a bright future. We're going to read about you some. And the winner is, we're going to see a lot of that stuff. Okay. Thank you, Mike.
Yeah. And yeah, that'll be, you know, of course, just always, you know, moving ahead, always growing. That's the point. And yeah, it's fun. It's exciting. Thank you.
You have a lot of talent. We'd like to have you back again. Please come back again.
Thank you very much. Thank you so much for having me.
My pleasure. Ladies and gentlemen, Michael Kim-Sheng. I want to thank our sponsors, Harvey Brandman, Photography is an Art, Ron Irwin's Lose Life, The Way to Lose Weight, Larry Beaver's book To the Future, Time Travel, Message in a Capsule, State Farm agent Carla Green, and veteran actor Rob Brownstein, Acting Training School, and Actors Space. And much, much thanks to our guest today, singer-songwriter, actor Hewett, singer-actress Kim Yarbrough, and producer-composer Michael Kim-Sheng. And of course, special thanks to our ever growing audience. Be well. We'll see you next time.